Friday, 5 to 7. Good rising, my love. How are you? I know a lot of us are feeling some type of way. I know a lot of us are in our feelings. And the truth of the matter is you are not alone. So, you just want to jump into it? Or do you want to wait? You want to... Let's just jump into it. First and foremost, our deepest and dearest condolences for an innocent man that had his life taken for no reason at all. Terrence Critcher did not have to die. Terrence Critcher was not armed. Terrence Critcher, I don't know if you guys saw the video. I posted the video on my page, but the officer that shot Terrence was live on such and such and such and such, talking about how the suspect refused to follow orders, how the suspect was not did not have his hands up. The suspect was wrong, and that's, the taser was deployed and one shot was fired. That was her account. That was her opinion. Not the truth, because we saw the truth. That was her opinion. Live on such and such and such and such. And then we see the video. You lying son of a snake. You liar. There's a photograph on my Instagram as well as my Facebook of the window of Terrence Critcher rolled up with blood splattered on the window. What's he have? 100 days? 90 days? 62 days? I want police reform. That's what I want. I want a criminal justice reform. I want a police reform. And I want us to sit down and take a hard look at some of the laws that are on the books. That baby that was just on the line, call back, 617-282-0062. I'm going to pull you up. Give me a little patience, baby. Give me a little patience, but I will pull you up. 617-282-0062. Terrence Critcher, his twin sister came. That big bad man was my brother. That big bad man was a husband. She said my twin. That big bad man was a father. And that's what the guy in the helicopter said. That looked like a bad man. How did that look like a bad man? Really? I'm going to be 100% transparent. I was so hurt yesterday, I couldn't even talk about it. That's why we didn't talk about it yesterday. I was so hurt. I was so devastated. How many black men have we watched be killed in 2016? Watch live on Facebook. How many lives have we watched be taken away? And how many, I'm going to say it, how many white men have we seen been taken with their hands behind their back in the cop cars? With a trial. With the jury of their peers. I'm just going to read the news because my personal opinions are deep today. They go all the way deep. Racial bias among jurors at the heart of a Supreme Court case. I would like for you to do your due diligence. This is rather long. Long story short is that it makes no sense when you are standing amongst a jury of your peers, yet your peers have racial bias. Your peers believe because you're Mexican, you just do and take what you want. Your peers believe because you're a black man, you're automatically guilty. Your peers believe because you're an angry black woman that, of course she probably did that. Because you're a Muslim, you must have planted some bombs somewhere. When a jury of your peers aren't really your peers because your peers are like-minded. And you don't have to be like-minded, but you don't have to have racial bias either. And we do. And that runs deep as well. I'm going to go ahead and post it on the Wake Up with TaylaAndre page. There have been cases of juror bias so extreme that almost by definition, the jury trial right has been abridged. This is Justice Sonia Sotomayor. She said, if and when such a case arises, the court can consider whether the usual safeguards are or are not sufficient to protect the integrity of the process. But what about the person behind the bench? What about their racial bias? What about their household beliefs? What about the fact that their daddy told them at a young age that those Negroes or those ninjas over there, such and such and such and such? Like, those things don't stay with us. You don't remember some of the things your parents said about some people or some things? What did your parents, as a Trini man, what did your parents say about those Haitians? It doesn't even have to be outside the black race. Certainly does not. As Haitians, what were you told about those Bajans? Come on now. Don't act like it's invisible. Don't act like it doesn't exist. We want to live in... Don't be naive. And all you're getting, get some understanding. I went through my, Facebook tells you, on this day, 17 years ago, when you first joined Facebook, you posted, and in 2011, Senator Sanders, who at that time was not running for the head of office, said over the past 5 years, so this was in 2011, over the past 5 years, while GE made $26 billion in profits in the United States, it received a $4.1 billion refund from the IRS. I'm going to add, where they do that at? Hashtag, how can I get some of that money? Hashtag, how? How is that legal? How is that possible? You made $26 billion, yet the IRS paid you $4.1 billion? Get the hell out of here. Are you serious? I make $26, the government's taking $5. Can I get my money back? Can I get the GE tax bracket? Make whatever you want and we'll pay you even more. Lord have mercy. Can you please tell me why Angelina and Brad breaking up is the #1 story? Can you please? We have a black man that was killed by a police officer. And Brad and Angelina, the #1 story on almost every website. Every website. Here, take this, shove this down your throat. No chaser. That you don't need the truth? Who told you you need the truth? Again, I was going through my history, and this was from last year, yesterday. Recently, I reached out to the BRA, the Boston Redevelopment, asking about statistics of construction companies working the organization that meet the diversity compliance minimums. This was the answer I received, and this is the reason why Boston ordinance means nothing. Based on good faith practices, I give my children good faith practices all the time, and I come home with dirty dishes and dirty rooms. We need to have a law that ensures 50% minority, 25% females. Where are the politicians? These are the things that we elect you for. The BRA is building the whole effing city, and no point in time is anybody going to hold them to this ordinance, hold them accountable, that is currently on the books and has been on the books for years. The city is being built without anybody in our community, without anybody of color, and with the lack of women on staff, but yet we're going to sit here and allow them to build billions of dollars and using taxpayer money to do so. I just want people to wake up. This was the letter. Hi, Tayla. Thank you for your question. We work with staff from the Boston Residents Job Program to enforce the employment goals of the policy, and with contractors to suggest solutions if they fall short of those goals. Please tell me where at work. I'm sorry, when you go to work and you fall short of your goals, do people give you suggestions, or do you have a set of guidelines that you have to meet in order for you to keep your job? I digressed. If they fall short of those goals. The policy, however, is not legally binding. I'm sorry, I thought it was an ordinance. Okay. So our responsibility is to ensure that contractors are making a best faith effort to meet those goals, and in most cases they are. One of the biggest challenges at the moment is the fact that there isn't enough skilled labor among Boston residents to meet the demand of high development projects that are under construction. You have people in New Hampshire, Rhode Island, Connecticut, Vermont coming here to Boston every single day, making a dollar that you could be making if you are a construction worker, if you are a painter, if you are a bricklayer, if you are, shout out to T. Michael Thomas and the People's Academy, if you do sheet metal work. Please know that there is work out here, and get off your ass and go get it. I'm not in construction. I don't wear hard hats. If I did, I'd be making all the $35 an hour that I can at every job site. I would be their token. Where do you want me to go? $35, let's go. $45, let's go. Overtime, let's get it. This entire city is being built as if as if we just learned how to build things. Like, oh damn, come on, let's put everything up. Over here, over there, all parcels of land are being built. I learned yesterday about the BJ and Sephora project in Roxbury, across from Roxbury Community College. So from what I understand, for the last 7 years, there's been conversations about that parcel of land. But yesterday there was a meeting, and a lot of people were so excited because the developers came and talked to community members, and developers came and talked to those small business owners and said, hey, we would love for you to come and work with us. There's a possibility we might have a little slot for you on the bottom level, and then we're going to have BJ's and Sephora and a few other things that don't nobody in Roxbury utilize or afford. So it's going to be Dudley all over again. Who goes to Dudley Dough? Who goes to that expensive ass boutique in Dudley? Have you ever been in there? And I buy custom clothes. So for any other time, I'm probably wearing rags because I really don't care about a name. I really don't. As long as it's comfortable and it fits me and doesn't make me look fat, I really don't care whose name is on it. But when it comes time to get dressed up, I've spent money on custom pieces that were tailor-made for Tayla. And I'm looking at these prices like, who in Roxbury is buying this dress for $216 on sale? Who? Because they could have got this from Mad Rag for $17 plus tax. One of the biggest challenges at the moment is the fact that there isn't enough skilled labor among Boston residents to meet the demand of all the development projects that are under construction. We need to build that pipeline of skilled labor, and we're trying our best to do so through programs like Building Pathways, which offers apprenticeship and educational opportunities for those enrolled. It's unfortunate it's not a simple issue to tackle, but how long has this problem persisted for, and what has actually been done? When we have programs like T. Michael Thomas, he's not the only one. There are other programs out here that are teaching young people how to work with their hands, but when they can't have a brick and mortar, when they have to fight the city and fight $1 billion and fight millionaires in order for space, we have a problem. Houston, Boston, we have a problem. And I love the fact that Massachusetts high courts understand that we have a problem. They said the black man may have a legitimate reason to flee police. Black men who try to avoid an encounter with Boston police by fleeing may have a legitimate reason to do so and should not be deemed suspicious, according to a ruling by the Massachusetts Supreme Court Judicial Court. The citing Boston police data and the 2014 report by the ACLU of Massachusetts that found blacks were disproportionately stopped by the city's police, the state's highest court on Tuesday threw out the gun conviction of Jimmy Warren. The reason why I find this, not funny as far as funny is concerned. B from Tennessee, give a call back, baby. 617-282-0062. The reason why I find this funny is because I don't know if you remember coming, it may have been 2 years ago when Boston Police Commissioner, first took his seat. He came into the studio, sat down with us, and the police commissioner said he'll be back, so we can definitely bring this up. But he told us that the way that the ACLU did their data and everything else, like it was wrong. They didn't explain it well. They were just against us. And what's funny about that is the court would not be citing this data unless it was properly. Do you understand what I mean? Why would the highest court in Massachusetts use data that is flawed? They wouldn't. But the way that the police commissioner told us about it 2 years ago is like, listen, the information is completely flawed. We were supposed to work together and roll out the information together. That never happened, so the data is null and void. But yet on Tuesday, because of that data, Jimmy Warren, who was arrested on December 18, 2011 by police who were investigating a break-in in Roxbury. Police had been given a description of the suspects as 3 black men, one wearing a red hoodie, one wearing a black hoodie, and the other wearing dark clothing. An officer later spotted Warren and another man, both wearing dark clothing, walking near a park. When the officer approached the men, they ran. Warren was later arrested and searched. No contraband was found on him, but police recovered an unlicensed .22 caliber firearm in a nearby yard. Warren was charged with unlawful possession of the firearm and later convicted. In its ruling, the court made 2 major findings. They said police didn't have the right to stop Warren in the first place. Hallelujah. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. What? One of the listeners said on Facebook, police officers around the country need to come to Massachusetts because whether we want to admit it or not, whether we want to believe it or not, we do have some of the best police officers in the country. And some of these officers that are out here shooting to kill, basically, need to come to Boston and learn how to properly subdue suspects. But I love the fact that here in Boston, Massachusetts, the court said they did not have the right to stop Warren in the first place. And the fact that he ran away should not be used against him. Freddie Gray, we love you. And we miss you. On the first point, the court said the description of the break-in suspect's clothing was vague, making it impossible for police to reasonably and rationally target Warren or any other black man wearing dark clothing as a suspect. The court said the clothing described in the description and the officer's hunch wasn't enough to justify the stop. Lacking any information about facial features, hairstyles, skin tone, height, weight, or other physical characteristics, the victim's description contributed nothing to the officer's ability to distinguish the defendant from any other black man wearing dark clothing in a hoodie in Roxbury. Who is this judge, and how can I give him or her a hug? On the second point, the court noted that the state law gives individuals the right not to speak to police and even walk away if they aren't charged with anything. Let me repeat this again, because this is the highest court in all of Massachusetts that said on the second point, the court noted that the state law gives individuals the right not to speak to police and even walk away if they aren't being charged with anything. Am I being charged with something? No, we want to hold you. Oh, okay, I'm leaving now. Am I being charged with something? No, I have a few questions. Oh, I'm leaving now. This is the highest court of all of Massachusetts. You're welcome. The court said when an individual does flee, the action doesn't necessarily mean the person is guilty. And when it comes to black men, the Boston police and the ACLU reports documenting a pattern of racial profiling of black males in the city of Boston must be taken into consideration, the court said. We do not eliminate flight as a factor in reasonable suspicion analysis whenever a black male is the subject of an investigatory stop. However, in such circumstances, flight is not necessarily probative of a suspect's state of mind or consciousness of guilt. Rather, the finding that black males in Boston are disproportionately and repeatedly targeted for FIO, field interrogation and observation encounters, suggests a reason for flight totally unrelated to consciousness of guilt. Such an individual, when approached by police, might just as easily be motivated by the desire to avoid the reoccurring indignity. Where are my words today? Can I have my words back? Of being racially profiled by desire to hide criminal activity. Given this reality for black males in the city of Boston, a judge should, in appropriate cases, consider the reports finding and weighting flight as a factor in reasonable suspicious calculus. Long story short, because there's like 5 more pages. Long story short, I love this judge. I love this judge, and I love this judge. So, I love this judge. Cops swarm a school after students take a stand and wear all black on America Day. I don't know what America Day is, because if America Day was a real thing, we'd all be around here trying to find our teepees and looking for the chief. So, at Collarville High School, not far from Memphis, Tennessee, students decided to make a statement on their school's America Day. Instead of wearing American t-shirts or flag flip-flops, students showed up wearing all black. A spokesperson with Shelby County Sheriff's Office told reports extra deputies were on campus as a precaution because there were rumors of an after-school fight. Lies. Collierville police were also on campus, but Collierville High School did not call any police. Students who wore all black say the rumors were unfounded and that the decision to dress in all black was simply just a statement. We wore all black because Black Lives Matter. It was a quiet statement that provoked a loud response. According to students of Collierville High School, there was no basis for the claim of an after-school fight. This was a peaceful demonstration in support of Black Lives Matters. Students went about their regular classes throughout the day. They did not disrupt the educational process at all. When students got out of school, they were surprised by the amount of police outside. After school, they thought they were going to have a riot with other students. And they had extra police officers, security guards, and everything after school. We couldn't even take a picture up the street, said the students. They legit followed us everywhere. It wasn't even called for because we don't mess with the white people. The students' Caucasian classmates had mixed reactions. Some of the white kids said, "We support y'all. We thank you for wearing all black." And others were not supportive at all. We said, "We're going to be the bigger person about it." Some dude on Twitter said, "Tell the police to shoot us." And some dude put up a Confederate flag. It doesn't bother us. We just live on. Whether you support them or not, this is going on. This is what our babies, these are high school students, these are what our babies are dealing with for simply wearing a color. And the school didn't call. So who really called? Who really put them on watch, put them on notice, and had police officers show up, security guards show up, extra staff show up? Good rising, good rising. No criminal charges have been filed against any police officers in the connection with the police shooting death of the young Maryland mom, Corinne Gaines' case. No officer will be charged. There will be no criminal charges filed against any of the officers who were involved in the fatal shooting of Corinne Gaines and the incident that also left her 5-year-old son injured. I hope they sue the pants off them. Where her mama at? Where her daddy at? I hope they civically sue for every dollar. Everything, everything. Baltimore County State Attorney Scott Schellenberger is expected to advise the family that he completed his monitoring of police investigation into the killing of Corinne Gaines and will not be filing criminal charges against any of the officers involved. A statement from the Gordon Law Group said attorneys from the Gordon Law Group and other attorneys from Jimmy M. Bell's office are expected to meet Schellenberger on Wednesday. We will go ahead and continue to follow that story, and I will update you Facebook, Instagram, Twitter on anything and everything that we find out. Yesterday, I'm really excited. Yesterday, I signed up for Quelle TV. Do you guys remember the interview that we had with owner-founder and absolutely beautiful woman? I'm excited because I have 30 days free of Quelle TV, and there's everything on there, baby. Everything on there. So huge shout out to Deshauna Spencer. Thank you so much for what you do. Because of her, we can. Ebony.com and Quelle TV announced the first short winner called Rigamo. Now you can find highlights, you can find staff picks, you can find documentaries, dramas, international, black history, relationships, news and current events, the classics as far as like swing of 1938, rhythm and blues of 1955, spirit of the youth 1938, broken strings 1940. These are movies that I didn't even know existed with faces that look like ours. Miracle in Harlem. Heidi, hold on, because I have a feeling. Heidi Ho, Cab Calloway, Boarding House Blues. Did you know these movies even existed? I didn't. Song of Freedom, The Duke is Tops, and so many more. LGBTQ movies, social justice movies, fantasy and sci-fi movies, art and culture, comedy, teen and kid programming, adult animation, health, wellness, and fitness. Ebony.com and like their online series, faith-based and spiritual. I love how they added the spiritual because there's some like esclaves, santos of slaves and saints, and just I love it. I absolutely love it. Thank you, Deshauna, for all that you do. There's even a business aspect, and you can just take a look for yourself. You sign up as if you were signing up for Facebook, as if you were signing up for Twitter, and you have 30 days for free. After that, I believe it's only $19 a month, and I believe it's well worth it. All black, everything. I'm excited. You should be too. Really quickly, it's the top of the hour. I just want to give a huge shout out to Faith's Naturals Beauty. She has the building. She will be opening October 1st. I don't know when the grand opening is, but 66 South Street is the location of the Faith's Natural Beauty products. The Pum Pum Wash has a home. Do not forget that this Saturday is the second annual Dr. Umar Johnson Conference featuring Dr. Claude Anderson. It's Saturday from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. So afterwards, you'll be able to go get your bad boy on with Puff Daddy and the crew, because you know they'll be in the building on Saturday as well. Well, I wish they were in the building on Saturday, but they'll be in the city on Saturday. You can go ahead and get your Dr. Claude Anderson and Dr. Umar Johnson tickets on Eventbrite. If you're connected on Facebook, I posted it. People have reposted it. There's an event for the Dr. Umar Johnson and Dr. Claude Anderson. Just Google Dr. Umar Johnson Boston and you'll find it. It'll pop up. Tickets are $30. They will be more at the door. I have no control over that, so please get your tickets in advance. Again, one more time, I just want to say that Terrence Crutcher was not reaching inside of his vehicle. They do have photographs of his window all the way up with blood on the window. Good rising, Big Mike. This woman's on the damn cameras. 7 News, 5 News, Fox 23. As they got closer to the vehicle, he reached inside the vehicle, and you could clearly see that the window was up, and there is blood on the window. You don't believe me? Go to Instagram or Facebook, TaylaAndre. Appeals court says that employees you don't have a right to wear locks. Family persecution of locks is nothing new, especially to those who are Rastafarian. The government wants to tell you that your hair grows out of your head is not acceptable for what it is. Banning employees from wearing their hair in dreadlock style is not racial discrimination, says a federal appeals court. The decision was 3-0. You want to know why it was 3-0? Because we didn't have not one judge on that appeals court to sit here and have the likeness of our peers to sit there and determine whether or not you putting your hair in locks is appropriate or not, is acceptable or not, is racial profiling if I don't. Do you know how big this decision is? This means that you, Mr. Law Firm, if they want to tell you, you either have to cut your locks or you're not making partner. Better yet, not even making partner. If you don't, thank you. If you don't cut your locks, then you just won't even work here. Where they do that at? Now everywhere in the land. Because the 11th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals dismissed the lawsuit brought by the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission against a company that refused to hire a black woman because she would not cut her locks. Could you imagine anybody with locks? And not just locks, anybody with hair. Regardless, what if you, sister, with your lie, with your creamy crack, decided you wanted to work at a black law firm, you wanted to work at a black business, and they said, boo, until you go natural, you ain't working here. I think it's probably, for me, it's the same. It's the same for me. If you don't give up the creamy crack, you can't work here. Sounds just as outrageous as if you don't cut your locks, you can't work here. Y'all better start creating your own businesses. Federal law bans employment discrimination on the basis of race, and courts have interpreted that to mean discrimination based on skin color and other immutable traits. Your hair does not matter. Locks matter not. Y'all better start paying attention. I want to give a huge shout out to Ed Anime Productions presents Maltrack Episode 2. Episode 2 came out. So you guys remember Maltrack, and they're talking about going to Kemet and being in Africa. Good rising, V from Tennessee. Well, in the second episode, exploring the pre-Columbian Americas. And it's beautiful, it's history. The installment teaches children about the following historical truths about the Americas. So I believe, I don't know if you guys were listening yesterday when Dr. Joy DeGruy said, you have to go ahead and get the materials, have it printed and ready for the teacher and sit down and say, listen, I don't know how, but you need to fold this into your curriculum and start teaching my baby the truth. So what I believe, and I believe I have a wonderful relationship with my children's school, I believe that if we go ahead and purchase this Ed Anime Maltrack Episode 2, Exploring the Pre-Columbian Americas, and you know Columbus Day is coming up, go on and purchase your copy and give it to the teacher. Give it to the principal and say, hey, boo, just wanted to remind you that Columbus didn't discover nothing. I almost cursed. Columbus discovered nothing. So what I would like for you to do is to go ahead and fold this into your curriculum and teach my baby the Native Americans established various cultures who built defining structures, practiced writing, practiced mathematics, had science and religion down to a T. There was a transatlantic contact between the indigenous people in the Americas and other nations. Yes, they found coca leaves and cocaine in Africa. How did they get there? Well, somebody went to South America. There was transatlantic contact between indigenous people in the Americas and other nations way before Christopher Columbus kicked in your door waving a 4-4 talking about this my land now. And I'm really excited because Ed Anime is still working on other episodes. Ed Anime is still working on basically an entire curriculum to teach your children the truth. I promise to tell the truth. Shout out to Ed Anime. Shout out to Meltrack. And it's Ed Anime. It's like educational anime. ANIME Productions. You can go ahead and Google them. You'll find them on everything. Ed Anime. And Meltrack is MELTREK. Meltrack. This is episode 2. And remember, they are seeking people to help them. If you are an artist, if you can draw, maybe voiceovers, whatever, they are looking for help. I don't know if you remember that. I do. 6 states declare state of emergency after a pipeline leaked. This was blogged by Miss Jenny B on September 9th. A pipeline bursted near Birmingham, Alabama, and leaked into a nearby pond, reports state. As a result, 6 states have declared state of emergencies and are facing possible fuel shortages and price increases. These states are North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia, Virginia, and Alabama, have all cited concerns about fuel supply disruptions and disruptions of gasoline. Gas prices have already increased about 7% since Thursday. Again, this report was from the 9th. While the supply has decreased, causing chaos across the 6 affected states, recovery efforts are continuing 24 hours a day, focusing on remedies of the containment and restoration of the pipeline. The reason why I think it's important to read about this, and the reason why I think it's important for us to be knowledgeable, is because if you remember, there is a pipeline that is trying to go through native land. Do I need to play the song again? There's a pipeline that is trying to be built through native land, holy land, land the United States government does not have the authority to build on. And one of the things that the Sioux people are really concerned about is the fact that, I don't know, maybe there will be an oil spillage that will leak into our pond. Maybe there will be an oil spillage that will desecrate the land, blacken the water. I think I'm going to go ahead and play the song. If you don't know, this is, his name is Stuart James. He is a native, and he made a song based on what's going on in North Dakota, and the name of the song is hashtag No Dapple. Now, a lot of people ask me, Taylor, what's the name of the song? The name of the song is hashtag the # No DAPL. And in this song, he talks about why they don't want the pipeline. He talks about how they've been lied to years after years after years. This is our holy land. You're not just going to take it from us. So I'm going to play this really quickly, just because we're talking about it. And I want you to listen to the words, listen to the lyrics, and listen to what's being said.
Because anything could happen, and it's like, what if they come in and try to take us off and decide that everybody should have water? I mean, God gave it to the land, and we have a right to it. He didn't give it to the United States government. We've got a bigger point than that. We're saying, we're talking about law. We're talking about respect as a people. Respecting a people as a people. We're talking about more than poverty. We're talking about honor. We're saying, you've never dealt with us honorably, United States, ever. And it's time that you start doing so, because we're not going to allow it to continue. We can't. Problems for the Indian people are within the United States government. Problems that we're having is the federal government is allowing the state government to break a treaty that was signed between the Indians and the Indian people and the federal government. And that treaty is a law. We're talking about things like this. We're talking about If we're free, we want the right to make our own decisions. We don't want the great white father image anymore looking down on us, making the decision for us. And we're concerned about people, the reservation people on the reservations that are being forced to assimilate or die out. We're worried about things like our language and our culture. And we want this on our own terms. We don't want it. We don't want to be able to hang on to it because the federal government says we can keep this much and we can keep that much. It's part of us. We want it all.
I don't know if you remember or not, but I read a report a couple days ago where they were going ahead and trying to give the people $300,000 per person one time for them to go ahead and give away their rights, to go ahead and give away their land. And since when did $300 and something thousand constitute? Where is that real money? You could barely buy a house in Boston for $350,000. And then even if your house is paid off, you still got to pay property tax for the rest of your life. Hold on, I thought I bought this property. I thought it was mine. Who am I paying taxes to? Myself? This is my stuff right here. We got to be mindful. 6 states. That pipeline burst in Birmingham, Alabama, ruined the pond, and we want to sit here and act like the people in Standing Rock don't have a reason not to want to give away their land? Come on. The city of Flint, Michigan will not be able to file a lawsuit against the state of Michigan over drinking water crisis unless the state says it's okay. The Detroit Free Press reports that the 5-member Receivership Transition Advisory Board, appointed by Governor Rick Snaker, changed the rules under which Flint is governed so the city could not file a lawsuit without first getting approval from the state-appointed board. Stated plainly, Flint will be unable to sue the state unless the state approves the law first. Boo. Boo. We've been married for 50 years. I want to cheat. Can I cheat? I won't cheat unless you give me permission to cheat. You gonna give me permission to cheat? Hell no. Mommy, it's 12 o'clock at night and I want to go to the corner store. Can I go? I won't go unless you give me permission. Can I go? Hell no. Hell no. Boss, I'm finna leave work, but I'm about to keep my clock still running until tomorrow when I get off of work. But I'm about to leave right now. I won't leave unless you give me permission to run your clock over. So you gonna give me permission to leave? Hell no. Excuse me, state of Michigan? Hi, I'm a Flint resident and you poisoned me and I want to sue. Can I sue? Because I can't sue unless you give me permission. Hell no. How Rick Schneider, he's a snake. I told y'all he was a snake months ago. Months ago I told you that man needed help. I don't think you understand. One more time. The city of Flint, Michigan will not be able to file a lawsuit against the state of Michigan over drinking water crisis unless the state says it's okay. Reports say that the 5-member receivership transition advisory board appointed by Governor Rick Snake the Snyder changed the rules under which Flint is governed so that the city cannot file a lawsuit. Where is Obama? I am going to be highly disappointed. I am going to be highly disappointed if you don't do something about this. You know what? I love my president. I wanted to choke him the hell out. Talking about something, I would be disappointed if you don't get the hell up out of here. Flint is changed the rules under which Flint is governed so the city cannot file a lawsuit without first getting permission. It says approval, but permission from the state-appointed board, from the Governor Rick Snake Schneider state-appointed board. Flint will be unable to sue the state unless the state approves the lawsuit first. In March, Flint Mayor Karen Weaver filed a notice of intent to sue the state of Michigan in the Court of Claims. In the case, the city decided to sue the state over the lead contamination in the city's water supply. Weaver and other city officials had no actual plans to file the suit, but because of a court rule that allows only 180 days to file the notice or loss, they lost the right to sue because it only allows you a 180-day window, and they lost that right on March 24th, which was the 180th day. Disappointment on deck, Tayla. Time is running out. Listen, he better come with a bombshell on one of his last days. You better come with a bomb. I can't even see him fixing this. Not just the Flint, Michigan incident, not just the fact that we have black men dying on live television, not the fact that oh Lord, that just made my skin crawl, my hair stand up, and it made me want to throw up. Every time I think about that man with his hands up, that the dude in the helicopter talking about something, that's a bad man, look like it's taser time, like it was a video game, like it was nothing but fun to them, like it was nothing but, like it wasn't a human life. That looked like a bad man. Ain't you 300 feet in the air? How do you know what I look like? I said this yesterday on my video, and I don't mean to offend. My stepdaddy and his coworkers might be listening right now, but that white woman had about 5-6 white men around her. You didn't feel safe with all those white men with guns standing next to you? You had to shoot an unarmed black man? It's okay, I understand. Because all I need is one king next to me and I feel protected. So maybe I don't understand. How you have 5 white men standing by your side with one unarmed motorist. He was a motorist who broke down his vehicle. So it's illegal for you to break down, because you might be killed. Somebody tagged me on Facebook yesterday. The baby went ahead and his car was broke. Somebody was like, damn, Taylor, I hope they don't kill him for having a broke down car. I saw it. I didn't like it, but I saw it. Thank you. Shout out to Sonny. Nonsensical nonsense. Love and appreciate you. The helicopter photographer was the shooter's husband. Yo, you know those memes where it has the black chick and she's like dropping the mic, like, eh. I just want to shut the mic off right now. Like, thank you, V from Tennessee. Thank you, V. What we don't understand is we are dealing with demons, James Fox said on Facebook. This is a report. A disabled black man has died at the hospital after being shot by a Charlotte Mecklenburg? How they find this name at? Mecklenburg. That don't sound like an Indian name. Charlotte Mecklenburg police officer Tuesday afternoon on Old Concord Road in University City, a subdivision of Charlotte, North Carolina. Police say they were searching for someone who had outstanding warrants. Please tell me what kind of warrants these were, though. I'm really interested in knowing what kind of warrants you were searching for when you just pause. Police said they were searching for someone who had outstanding warrants when they saw a man with a gun leave a vehicle. The victim was not the subject of the search. According to reports, the man who has not been named. I wish there would be a movie that came out with a man that will not be named. The man who will not be named returned to his vehicle. When they approached the man, they claim he posed an immediate threat, imminent, deadly threat. An eyewitness told the victim's daughter that a taser was used on her father when he was shot at least 3 times. Medics arrived on the scene and the injured man was taken to Carolina's Medical Center, where he was later pronounced dead. Please tell me. Please tell me. Why are they always ready, set, shoot? What kind of training are you getting when you are always ready, set, shoot? But yet, in Coweta County, Georgia, a man is behind bars and facing multiple charges after he was caught on video threatening a road construction crew with a gun, yelling racial slurs. Fox 5 Atlanta reports Nelson King, who is part of the construction crew on the road at the time, told reports that he was working on Thursday Rising when Harold Bishop, 72 years old, 72. Somebody with some great math. 72 minus 2016. When was he born? 72. Pulled up and started shouting slurs. He pulled up on us and he was like, get these N-words off the road. I live here. I will kill you, N-word. According to reports, Bishop was trying to get home, but the road was closed because of construction. Could you imagine me pulling up on Hyde Park Ave like, you crackers, you construction crackers, I will kill you. Like, could you imagine that? I can't even fathom that. Even though it's a story, I'm reading the story, I cannot even visually, as a creative person, visualize this happening. 1944. So in the 60s, he was in his 20s. 72 years old. We still have people that are 72 years old that are in Congress, that are senators, that are governors, that are police officers, that are judges. We still have people in America. What did Oprah say a couple of years ago? We still have some racists that need to die out. I'll live here. I will kill you, N-word. This is real life. And even though I joke about it, there is no joke. Yo, shout out Douglas Facey from Virginia. We got Virginia in the house. There's a lot going on, baby. I don't know what's going on. I hate it. I hate it. And even though we sit here and we talk about the South so bad, don't forget that we had a white pedestrian crossing the road, had a vehicle cut in front of him while he was on the white, the little white person that say you can walk. It was his time to walk. Somebody drove and crossed over him. He took his little umbrellas and tapped the window. The cop came, chased him down, tackled him, arrested him, and then told that he cracked the window. It was later smudged off. Not only that, we have state police in Connecticut that are now facing a lawsuit after accidentally recording themselves conspiring to fabricate evidence against a protester. The American Civil Liberties Union of Connecticut, the ACLU of CT, filed the suit on September 15th, a year after Michael Picard was arrested for protesting near a DUI checkpoint in West Hartford, Connecticut. The three officers named in the suit, Master Sergeant, with titles, with position, with rank, with ability, to do and say whatever they want. Thank you for being the dumb criminal that you are. That's what my grandma said. You are a dumb criminal. You know that. My uncle called me. He was like, weren't you supposed to go to a meeting and then bring yourself here? What you doing at the Hemp Fest, Tayla? And then going live. You dumb criminal. So why are you over here trying to conspire against Michael Picard, or Pickard? You recorded yourself. You dumb criminal. Thank you. Thank you for your ignorance. So appreciated. Master Sergeant Patrick Toronto, Sergeant John Jacob, and Trooper First Class John Barone were all on duty and in uniform when the arrests and subsequent fabrication happened, according to the complaint filed in the U.S. District Court. Pickard often protests DUI checkpoints, which he feels that are contrary to the Fourth Amendment and a waste of the public's money. And these idiots went ahead and recorded themselves lying or going ahead to fabricate a lie about what this man was doing. Oh, you think it's just a Southern thing? Contrary to popular belief, huh? A congressman tweets, "You are welcome," Colin Kaepernick after the NYC bombing suspect arrest. Shortly after the arrest of Ahmad Khan Rahamai, I butcher names, the 28-year-old man wanted in Saturday night's explosion in New York City, a congressman took to Twitter to connect the possible terrorist act with San Francisco 49ers quarterback, or representative of New York, who is a Republican, Lee Zeldin, sent out a sarcastic tweet directed at Kaepernick's protest for equal rights for blacks and minorities shortly after Rahami's arrest. Since the NFL preseason, Kaepernick has led a silent protest during the national anthem. Kaepernick has noted that his protest will continue until equal rights are attained for minorities. So I guess he finna be in the league for another 50 years, sitting on one knee. Because I could have sworn "We Shall Overcome" was 1960s, and we still trying to overcome. So I don't know how long he about to be on his knee for, but I hope you got knee pads, baby. And I'm not talking about the ones that they give you in the league, because you're going to run out of those real quickly. To me, this is bigger than football, and it would be selfish on my part to look the other way. There are bodies in the streets and people getting paid leave and getting away with murder, Kaepernick said. Y'all remember? I remember. I really want you to watch the video of Terrence Crutcher's shooter lying on camera. I can't wait to follow this. And I really hate the fact that it takes an entire year for the due process to take place. When memories forget fast, I believe these things should. So I'm an 80s baby. I grew up in, I was born in 83, grew up in the 80s, 90s. So night court was a real thing to me. Like, to me, I believe people really went to night court on a regular basis. And I felt like going through watching night court, I thought you committed a crime on Monday, you were in court on Tuesday. I thought that's the way it worked. Somebody commit a crime on Monday, get locked up in jail, don't have the funds to come out, are in jail until their court date. And you do know that we'll have an astronomical bail. $25,000. Hold on. Wait, it was a car accident. Pause. $2.6 million. Wait, I was a protester. Oh, you think I'm joking? Please go Google. Please go Google. There was a baby in jail whose bail was set at, well, it was like $500,000 for his bail on one of the Baltimore protesters that broke a windshield. Like, he was standing on top of the car and had a trash can and broke a windshield, and his bail, $500,000. But yet, let your name be Michael, Smith, and you raped a white girl, $10,000 bail. I'm being honest. You can't sit here and deny the facts. And people want to deny the fact. Taylor, you can't say that. Taylor, that's inappropriate. You sound racist. It's not about sounding racist. I'm stating facts. If I'm stating facts, what does that make the fact? Oh, racist? Bias? Problematic? But because I say it, that's the problem. We need to just go ahead and sweep it under this rug, huh? There ain't no rug big enough, baby, and there's no broom that exists that's strong enough to sweep what we have currently going on under the rug. B from Tennessee said, I tried to call in, but I wanted to say that based on the fact that police rarely, if ever, get charged and convicted with killing black people, not only that, but they get to retire from policing early. I think that they are secretly getting paid for killing us. We know the KKK has reached deep into the police force, judicial system, and with judges and elsewhere, they brag about it. For crying out loud, Darren Wilson is paid for life being the killer of Michael Brown. And that's just one example, and there are plenty of others. V from Tennessee, love and appreciate you. Let me go ahead and get to some of these Facebook comments. So some of these might be a little old. Good rising, my people. Grand rising, my king. The top was down. That means we're out. Good rising, all. The studio phone is going to voicemail. All I wanted to say, thank you, V from Tennessee. I don't know. Oh, we have one person on the line. 617-282-0062. Hashtag no Dapo. Good rising, Tayla. Sad days we see. You just keep doing what you're doing. Brendan said, you are now my morning news. We don't mourn, baby. This the rising news. They keep making laws to oppress people, huh? Is this federal? Disappointed on deck. Taylor, time is running out. We have a double-headed snake running for office. One head is red and the other head is blue. Hallelujah. Somebody better say it. And we have over 30 candidates that are currently running for president. Please tell me if you have seen any one of these candidates. Not on the Wake Up with TaylaAndre show, because we did have John Fitzgerald Johnson in the building. Let me tell you, if you've seen any of his recent posts, he went all the way Malcolm X. He went all the way militant. So you might want to go check him out. And it's hilarious how he is all the way militant, yet he has a huge support system of whites in the South, whites on the West Coast that are with him. Even though he's pro-black power. It's insane. You wouldn't think it, but he is. The helicopter photographer was the shooter's husband. We don't understand what we're dealing with. We're dealing with demons. I definitely understand it. Demons it is. No other way to make sense of it. Kemian from California. Kemian, I want to say thank you because you wake up at 3 o'clock in the rising to watch us at 5, and I love and appreciate that. They're getting Army training. Good rising from Virginia. I think black people need to mass become police. You know what? I'm with V on this one. I do believe that not only do we need to be police officers, but more than that, we need to be judges. We need to go ahead and train our sons and daughters so in the next 10 to 15 to 20 years, we can have people sitting on these benches and rolling out verdicts that actually make sense. That make common damn sense. I think black people need to become police officers, if not hired soon. We need the badge to at least become our own, to rescue our own. My trust in law enforcement has absolutely flatlined. What about yours? What about yours? With all the incidents that have taken place, with everything that's going on, do you even trust the police? Massachusetts said that given the ACLU's report in police department of Boston, stop and frisk or our own little field operation nonsense, black men in Boston have the right. And it is understandable for black men to walk away from police. And a judge said that. We're going to find that judge. We're going to see if we can get that judge on air. Because I can't believe he promised, she promised, they promised to tell the truth. And I'm so glad they did. We have callers on the line. 617-282-0062. Good rising, my love.
Pleasure and honor to be on your show. The SJC ruling yesterday was just a glimpse, but it wasn't an eye-opener. We've lived through this on a daily basis, and we already are aware of that. But just to piggyback off, as you were mentioning the bail money and how the bail money is set for even crimes that people don't even commit, it's ridiculous. And just yesterday,
I know.
I think over there in Newton, Wellesley, Sweet Tomatoes, an individual runs into the shop and kills innocent people and has his arraignment 6 months later, and then gets off on his own personal recognizance and he blames it on MS with zero money set for bail. That's ridiculous.
Hold on. So I am not familiar with this. So there was tell me, give me a fact that I can go ahead and Google.
Sweet Tomatoes, you can Google it. A Caucasian individual recklessly driving, to me, I believe he was texting, ran into a restaurant called Sweet Tomatoes and just had his arraignment yesterday and got off on his personal recognizance as they're moving forward against the case against him.
Okay, so I found the report. The driver of a car that crashed into a Newton pizza restaurant and killed 2 people appeared never to have hit his brakes as he hurtled through a busy intersection and into the establishment in March. In March? Damn. Okay, pause. Bradford Counselor, 55 years old, has multiple sclerosis, but investigators do not believe it played a role in the crash at the Sweet Tomatoes restaurant. Chris Tarrant, a Middlesex County prosecutor, said Castler's arraignment in Middlesex Superior Court, they based that decision on the review of Castler's medical records, including observations by medical professionals who treated him after the crash. They also spoke with people who know Castler, who were familiar with his medical condition and who observed him around all the time before the crash, after the crash. Castler faces 2 counts of motor vehicle homicide and 1 count of operating a motor vehicle so as to endanger. In court Monday, he pleaded not guilty in the crash, which killed Eleanor Miel. Miele, 57 years old, of Watertown, and 32-year-old Gregory D. Morin of Newton. 7 other people were injured. He was released on personal recognizances. Terrence said witnesses reported that Castler was driving his SUV extremely fast on Chestnut Street as he crossed the intersection of Washington Street and crashed into the restaurant. Persons inside virtually had no warning of the collision, and as a result, 2 people were killed and 7 people were seriously injured. They found that multiple sclerosis was not the cause of his crash, and they believe that Mr. Kessler was not suffering from any flare-ups related to his disease at the time of the crash, but yet he was perfectly, well to come out of jail. And I don't see anything about bail. I don't see anything about, jail time. It was requested that bail be sent at $10,000, but a judge decided to release him after learning that Kessler lived in Newton for most of his life and needed to stay in the area for medical care to help his elderly mother and to be in court on his own violation. Now, I say that to say this because let TaylaAndre kill somebody, not one person, but 2, and then injure several others. I'm not going back to Hyde Park, Roxbury, Dorchester, Mattapan, and no matter how sick my nana, auntie, cousin, brother, son may be, I'm going to jail. Do you know how many men had families that they needed to feed? But because child support said you owe me money, got put in jail? This is ridiculous. Caller, thank you. Thank you.
Why we fight? No, I love you. I appreciate you. You keep it up. You got voices out there that are truth fighters with you. And this is why we need all our truth fighters in Boston to come forward, stand behind this woman, stand behind our leaders in our city. Let's be the change that we want to see, and it starts with us. I love you and appreciate you, Taylor. Peace.
I love and appreciate you. Peace, my love. Peace, my love. This is absolutely. 617-282-0062. Good rising, my love. You're live.
Hey, good morning, baby.
Hey, how you doing?
Preach it.
Say that again?
I said preach it. Let it know it. Preach it.
Yes, baby. Yes, baby. Yes.
You know what? That thing that happened in Minnesota happened in Miami last year. You remember that?
The thing that happened in Minnesota happened in Miami. Where it happened in Minnesota?
Yeah, well, the shooting of the black gentleman.
It's not just Miami. It's more than Miami. It's more than Minnesota. It's more than Florida. It's more than Georgia. It's everywhere. It's an epidemic. South Carolina, North Carolina. Police terrorism, to cite Sabir Bay, police terrorism is a real thing. And I say this over and over and over again as far as the fact that most of our police officers are veterans. I love veterans. My uncle's a veteran. The man that I consider my granddaddy, even though he's my uncle, is a veteran. My daddy's a veteran. My granddaddy's a veteran. I can't tell you the long line of veterans I have in my family. And I still have active duty family members as well. So don't think for 5 seconds that I feel some type of way about the veterans. But when veterans get 100%, 100%, one more time, 100% veteran preference when it comes to becoming police officers, firefighters, MBTA police officers. And for those who don't like me, let me be clear. MBTA is 74% white. And I know that they hate me for saying that number every single time. 74% of MBTA police officers are of Caucasian descent. Oh, you didn't know that? Now you know knowing's half the battle. What you gonna do about it? 74%, 100% veteran preference, right? And out of this 100% veteran preference, you don't know what that baby went through when she was overseas. You don't. You don't know what they saw. You don't know the mindset they came back with. And even if they had nothing but good intentions, that mess changes you. When you have to shoot a child, when you see a child being shot, when you have to shoot a woman or watch women be shot, when you see a whole people be oppressed and you over there trying to help them, that That changes your soul. That changes your spirit. Everybody's a damn insurgent. And then you're sent back home to live a normal life. That is impossible. It's impossible. I have the same feelings about when you send people to jail, because we believe in energies, right? Right? We on the same accord. We believe in energies. We believe that, vibrations and energies and all this is transferable. So you go ahead and you lock somebody up with killers and real life murderers and people that don't give a what? And you just in there over a little drug charge, little gun charge because you fear for your safety. Now you coming out a real life criminal because you just spent 2 years with real hard criminals. Like, huh? It changes you. You come out and you start seeing things completely different. You start coming out here, you see this person, oh, imminent threat. Imminent threat. I'm in Afghanistan, son. Let's get him. It's insane to me. It happens everywhere. And the one thing that I think that we need, like, hello, the LGBT gave a list. Barack Obama, we want to marry our spouse. We want insurance for our spouse. We want to adopt children. These are the things that we want. Make it happen. The Latino said, we want to be able to work when we want to work, how we want to work. We want to be able to, like, the Latinos came with a proposal. This is what we want. Ta-da! Where is the Black and Latino caucus? Where is last time I read something about the Black and Latino caucus, they were giving out awards. Can y'all not give out awards? Can you please do something productive? Can you come out with a game plan and a strategy that helps the judicial system? Start small. Help the child support people. Start there. 66% of every dollar goes to the state, and that solidifies a parent paying child support. Pay your child support so I can get my 66 cents for every dollar you spend. Let's start there. Start small. Then work your way up. Like, so when I go to jail, I don't have to pay $50,000 bail, and my dude that lives in Newton was released on his own. What about, do I have recognizances? Do I have that? No, I don't. She's hot. She's blazing. I'm mad. I'm about to take my sweater off. My blood pressure going up. Good rising, caller. You're live. Baby, it's you. Talk to me, baby. Okay, don't talk to me. Caller, you're live.
Hey, what's up, David? How's it going?
What's going on? How are you?
I'm alright. How's it going? I'm frustrated just like you. And
I ain't frustrated. I'm fucking pissed.
Is that the United States of America is going down the road that if it's not corrected very soon, it's going to lead to a civil war within this country. Because too many things are happening, and it's not by mistake, because when you make mistakes, you learn from your mistakes. Now, if you keep making the same mistake and you don't learn from it, then it's not mistakes. It's a habit. And if you don't fix your bad habits, there's consequences for bad habits.
What's the consequence?
United States not fixing their bad habits, so there's going to be consequences. The only problem that it hasn't happened yet, because a lot of people are still dumbed down. You give them a little bit of freedom, and they say, okay, we're living in the greatest country in the world. That's outside of the United States, and you see what the world is really like. You get, there's a lot of things that are hidden here, the news and all this other nonsense that they put in your head. You don't realize what the real world really is. And when people step outside their comfort zone and actually see what the world really is, they'll see that the United States is not what it says it is. So if they follow not correctly, we might not see it in our lifetime, and maybe not our kids' lifetime, but sooner or later there will be a civil war in this country if things are not connected.
Hold on, don't speak that into my life. You know what I want to see? I don't want to see a civil war. I just want to see what Oprah want to see. I want to see all the racists die. That's what what is the man 74 years old, born in 1933? I'm ready for his kind to die out, and they are. That mindset, but you have to understand that he had kids, and he has grandkids, and he may even have great-grandkids. So that mindset was trickled down from your great-great-great-great-grandpappy, who said, get these out the street. I live here. I'll kill you, ninja. You think he's the only one? Nope, because you got police in Connecticut over here trying to, you know, corroborate their stories. Come on, what we gonna say he did? You dumb criminal. What we gonna say? I bet you they on paid leave too. There should be like, at some point, the union needs to say, listen, XYZ paid leave. If you're flat out guilty, and for instance, Walter Scott shot in the back, then the police officer almost tried to plant a gun on him, there is no paid leave. Like, for instances like that, there is no paid leave. When the girl go on film and say, he refused to comply and didn't put his hands up, and so we deployed a taser and one shot. Really? B, we got you on camera lying? You don't get paid leave. Like, at some point, I understand all for the unions. I'm all for somebody having your back, making sure you get paid. I get it. But at some point, somebody need to be for the citizens and say, listen, you don't get no money. You don't deserve no money. Go find another job. And if you want to be for real, the chick almost got fired, but she didn't. She just went ahead and she worked for the sheriff's department. And she resigned from the sheriff's department, but didn't give a reason why she resigned, and got picked up by another police department, Tulsa, Oklahoma police. One of the things that we need to have, shout out to Jamal Crawford, is police officers need to have their license taken away, just like doctors get their license taken away, lawyers get their bar card taken away, and every other profession. Let Tayla be the wrong real estate agent. Let me come out here and be a snake real estate agent. They're pulling my card. The state of Massachusetts is like, oh, you ain't no real estate agent no more. And you can't practice. Don't think you getting no side hustle money either. Why police get to do what they want to do and then come back with a different name? Let me read these comments real quick. Shout out to Darlene Pina. I love you, baby. My cousin does hot yoga. Had me climbing out mountains and stuff. They just said, I didn't even hear about that, and I work in Newton. We live in a world of last days. People are not paying attention. They're killing my people like they're dogs, and let a black man or woman kill a white person. It would be an all-out hunt, like the Charles Stewart case. Isn't it funny how the laws take certain people's life into consideration? Yeah, you're right. Take their lives into consideration, their mama and their sister, and they have daughters, and this wouldn't be good on their college resume and their college application. They just said they don't make those accommodations for our young people who have that may have others to look out for. Brendan said, exactly. Where's the CDC on this? It's crazy how all these officers that kill people get paid administrative leave. My homie prefers to call it murdercation. Murder on vacation. Oh, damn. Okay, but the black officers who shoot to kill are charged within a week. V from Tennessee, you better speak on it. Terrence Crutcher's twin, Tiffany Crutcher, is on CNN right now and said her kids are scared to get driver's license now. This is bull nonsense. This is traumatizing our kids. This is unacceptable. And they have been traumatizing our kids for years. I'm going to go ahead and take this last caller. Then we're going to wrap it up, because I already know. Actually, we have two callers on the line, so I'm going to take both of you. Good rising, baby. You're live. You're live, baby. Go ahead. There you are. There you are.
Good rising. How are you this morning?
I'm super fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing well. I wanted to piggyback on a couple of things you said. Firstly, with the shout out to Jamal Crawford. People talk about how trying these times are, and I know we're all emotional, and you can see it all over our social media, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, what have you. But I want to challenge everybody to do a little bit more. So Jamal's idea of police certification is not just an idea. It's something that we actually can do. So when we talk about unions supporting police officers, the union that we're missing is our own.
Hi, Carla.
We don't have to form a union. We just have to take action, a unified action. So here in Boston, here in Massachusetts, the Massachusetts Black and Latino Caucus, Legislative Caucus, has these bills proposed to decertify police officers, to have independent investigations of police shootings. These are things that
I love that
come
word,
along here in Massachusetts
investigatory.
to protect us from these things that we're seeing. But for this to happen, we have to move past our social media and actually call our state reps and state senators and support this bill and put pressure on this bill so that it can happen. So that's my challenge, to ask people to actually move beyond emotion and then move into action. Otherwise, we'll keep seeing this, and since we've been seeing it for the last couple hundred years, so either we're going to fight it legally the way they do it, or we're going to have to find another way and do it in the streets, which is going to be a lot uglier for all of us. But I really, how many hashtags do we do before we actually take action and move beyond hashtags?
Okay, so Carlos Enriquez, I love you, I appreciate you, but can you tell us, what do we need to do? Like, we're a little slow sometimes. Give us the actual blueprint. What steps do we need to take today in order to get this ball moving?
So if I can break it down quickly, so those bills were proposed last session. They were proposed before the August session closed. The State House pretty much killed those bills, but they can be revived in January when the session opens back up. Today, you can Google the Massachusetts Black and Latino Legislative Caucus. You can Google it. The website will come up. Their phone number will be there. You can call the number. A staffer will answer the phone, and you can ask them, how do I support? Give me a list of these bills. They'll email you the 3 or 4 bills that get impacted, and you can ask them how you can support these bills. If we had 100, 200, 1,000 people, and I'm sure 1,000 people have put this hashtag up in the last day, if you had 1,000 people call and put their name on a list, this is how the state reps like Russell Holmes and others that have proposed these bills can get these bills back alive and before the State House so that people can vote on them and push it forward. So I would say to call your state rep and state senator, but the easiest thing to do in case you don't have their number is just to Google the Massachusetts Black and Latino Legislative Caucus and call them today and speak to them about these bills. They will send you the information on them, and they will take your name and number and record you as a supporter of one or any of these bills that are up. You can also visit the Blackstonian. Jamal has these same bills listed as well because he's done a lot of this groundwork from the community level to get these bills moved forward as well. But they're not going to move without these reps have already tried to move them, and the powers that be, there's probably about 12 reps that represent us. There's 150 that don't, that represent other communities. Without us speaking up with these reps, they don't move. But we have to take action beyond these hashtags.
Thank you so much, Rep Carlo Enriquez. You'll always be a rep, still repping. Love and appreciate you. Hope you have an amazing day. Thank you for informing us. I thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. I went ahead and posted it, so it's up there. TaylaAndre. I hope you guys have an amazing day today. We will be back tomorrow. You already know what it is. Mwah.
FM. Wake up with the Radio Rebel. Politics, news, conspiracies. Wake up your third eye with unorthodox conversations leading to universal consciousness. This is the type of stuff I'm into, alright? Make sure you tune in. Let's go.
Today's me and Nas's
You play ads when you're in the morning? Carney Hospital is changing to better serve Dorchester with a new senior leadership team. So you're angry, huh? Meet Carney Hospital's new president, Walter Ray. Why are you angry? Black people being killed.
Our leadership has substantially changed. Our quality is nationally recognized, and we're committed to providing the care, compassion, and respect that each and every person in our wonderfully diverse community deserves.
Visit carneyhospital.org/change.
You encourage people to constantly vote for Donald Trump.
Your